Hello Brew Fellows, it's Nick aka Hoodwinked Brewing coming at you from my garage in Springfield, Oregon, where it's 35 degrees outside and maybe about 2 degrees warmer in here. But cold or warm, rain or shine, I am going to brew a beer. And today it is a Colonial Saison, which is a beer that I've never attempted before. I've brewed plenty of Saisons, but this one's a little bit different. This is a recipe contribution from Josh Weichert to BYO magazine. I've brewed probably 20 of Josh's beers. They all turn out somewhere between good and great. So I am confident this one will be to my liking, even though it follows a process that I'm not familiar with. And the way that it differs from most beers that I brew is that it has no bittering additions. This beer relies on hopping directly into the mash, which is also new for me, a 10-minute addition, which is really not going to give us very many IBUs, a flameout addition, which again, minimal IBUs, and a dry hop addition, post-fermentation. So my brewing software has no idea what to make of this recipe. It says it's going to be like 9 IBUs. Josh's recipe online says 28, 29, somewhere around there. I'm inclined to trust that because I know that you can create balance. There are some hazy IPAs out there that are, 1060 original gravity and 2 IBUs, but they're remarkably balanced, not cloying, not sweet, just perfect. So I think this kind of follows that same philosophy, but for me, brewing is always an experiment and we will just see how it turns out. Okay. All right, here we go. Here is the Colonial oh my goodness. Here's the Colonial Saison. I got a little excited about it. This is 16 days grain to glass. It's one of the few beers and few yeasts that you can rush like that and have pretty good results. So first and foremost, the color. It's a nice gold, kind of pale, but not super duper pale. And I think that's due to some of the character malts that we put in there. It's got a nice foamy white head. Not a very large cap, but that's okay. I didn't really need it to be Duvel or Duvel style carbonated. As far as smell goes, peppery. That signature Saison farmhouse smell, not like a chicken coop, not to the intensity of a chicken coop anyway, but just kind of that farmhousey, essence that you find in a lot of Saisons. I really like 3711. This is a great yeast, and this one fermented down to like 1003, so. The number one flavor I get is blackberry. It's crisp. It has a little bit of a crackery, bready sweetness from the Pilsner malt. Yeah, it's dry up front, but then it finishes with a little bit of slickness, and I've had that with other 3711 French Saison yeasts. It's very special yeast. It's hoppy, but it's not bitter. It's remarkably balanced for having no bittering hop additions, only a 10-minute, a flame out, and a dry hop addition. So overall, very pleased. What do you think about it? What do you think about this beer?
I do not like beer.
You don't like beer? That's probably a good thing. But does it look pretty at least?
Kind of.
Yeah. Do you like the gnome?
I do not like gnomes.
Because Daddy really likes gnomes, huh?
Yeah, and I think they're weird.
They are a little bit weird. Do we have gnomes in our yard?
Yeah.
How many do we have in our yard?
Probably 10 or 11. Don't touch you.
Okay.
You got your hands.
Well, that's about it. Just a really fantastic beer that you can whip up in a couple of weeks if you have an event. It's about 6% ABV if I remember correctly. So it's not too strong for guests or too strong for people visiting your home brewery or your garage, whatever. Yeah, brew this beer. It's tasty.